Hi guys. We don't have very much going on in this video today. I'm sorry I've been out. I've been recovering from being kind of sick, minorly sick, but sorry about that. I was actually taking my CLEP test and things did not go up as well as I would hope for, but I just don't want to share about the score that I got. It's not really about the test, but 300 subscribers. Yay. Already a fourth century of my YouTube channel, Josh Icky Killer 95. So we're going to do something special today. We're going to do something special before we learn the imperfect subjunctive and the indicative conditional tenses. I just want to go over some rare tenses in Spanish, actually including like the present perfect as well, plus a few more rare tenses. Spanish has so many tenses in their verbs. So let me get my whiteboard out. I'm going to share my screen, get my whiteboard. Can I make this full screen? Nice. Okay. So I would like to go over some, I would like to actually go over the preterite perfect, the preterite progressive. So anytime when you think about the progressive tense, anytime you think about the progressive tense, it is always the verb estar. And in this case, if you're thinking about the preterite progressive, then you use yo estuvo, yo estuve, tú estuviste, él, ella y usted estuvo, nosotros y nosotras estuvimos, vosotros y vosotras estuvisteis, y ellos, ellas y ustedes estuvieron. Now, what you need to do to perform the preterite progressive? Well, in this case, what you would do is you would use the special present participles, right? I will mark the participles in green. So for example, we've got, so for present participles, we have, you remember beber and comer? Hold on just a second. Bebiendo, comiendo, right? You remember verbs like tomar? Tomando. What about the verb, not seguir? That's a pretty hard one. How about the verbs like bailar, cantar? Do you remember those? I encourage you to pause and try to think of what this is. Bailando, cantando. See that? Now, what about verbs like ooh, I've got a really good one, like practicar, or trying to think. Practicar or tener. Let's do tener first. teniendo, right? And practicar is practicando. See that? What about verbs like pedir and seguir? Pedir is a pretty tricky one. Pidiendo and seguir, siguiendo. See that? What about verbs like hacer, traer? Hacer is actually, Spanish makes it easy for you, hacer, haciendo. And traer is trayendo. See that? That actually sums it up right there. It gives you some ideas of what the present, this is not the present progressive. This is a special tense known as the preterit progressive. You see these conjugations: estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, estuvistes, estuvieron. And you have these present participles. That's also known as the preterit progressive. Let me give you some examples. This would mean I was singing in the past. Estuve cantando. That means I was singing, right? Okay. What about estuviste mando? I was taking, right? How about estuvo bailando? I mean, he was dancing, she was dancing, or you formally were dancing, right? Okay. Estuvimos teniendo. We had, right? This time it's plural. See that? Estuvistes haciendo. That means you were doing informally in the plural, or you were making in the informal, you is in plural. Estuvieron. What's one of those I know? Estuvieron trayendo. They were bringing, right? Or those guys were bringing, or those gals were bringing, right? Let's go over a few useful phrases. There's not really a lot to go over, but let's go over a few useful phrases. So let's try one in the singular you form first. So trying to think of one, because I thought that would be in the subjunctive in that case, right? So that's not a good one. Let's try estuviste hablando a la secretaria. What do you think that phrase means? Estuviste hablando a la secretaria. You were talking to the secretary, right? See that? Yeah, you say you were talking because this is the preterite progressive we're in now, right? How about let's make it a little more interesting this time. John estuvo estudiando, yes, or yeah, estudiando for pronunciation. Estudiando would not make any sense. John estuvo estudiando química. There's a tilde in the I in química, I do believe. What do you think that means? Okay. John was studying chemistry, right? See that? It does get kind of a little tricky once you get into the preterite progressive. Okay, how about one more? Let's make it plural this time. Nosotras estuvimos tomando el boleto de autobús. What do you think that means? Now pay attention to this. We feminine were taking the bus ticket. See that? You got to be really careful when you're using nosotras, because that's the feminine meaning for the first person plural, right? Now I want to show you guys the imperfect progressive. I'm going to show you guys the imperfect progressive now. So in the imperfect progressive, anytime you're involving a progressive, then you're still using the verb estar, right? So the conjugations again for estar, this time in the imperfect, are yo, trying to think. It's not estaria because that would be conditional. Estaba. Yo estaba. Tú estabas. Él, ella y usted estaba. Notice they're the same exact conjugations in the yo and el, ella y usted forms. Nosotros y nosotras estábamos. You got to be careful with this one. It has a tilde in the first A. Vosotros y vosotras estabais. See that? and ellos, ellas y ustedes estaban. Then we're going to form the progressive out of this. And then we're going to form the progressive out of this. So I need to get my list of present participles out again, right? So present participles. So we got hablando, cantando, bebiendo, comiendo, comiendo, hablando, right? I'm trying to think here. Viviendo, viviendo, siguiendo, right? Haciendo for hacer, and trayendo for traer, right? Ooh. Abriendo is a good one. Abrir is a good verb. Abriendo. I figured abrir would be a good verb to use because we've never done the verb abrir, right? Now, when you look at these present participles here, and you look at these in these conjugations, estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, estabais, estaban, this is also known as the imperfect progressive, right? Meaning that you didn't do something fully. This would mean that you did not do any of these, right? Because the imperfect is also known as a past tense as well, but it's partially past tense. That's what the neatness of the imperfect tense is. Like if I say estaba bailando, like estaba bailando, I was dancing, but I did not dance, right? Or what about estabas bailando? I mean, you didn't dance informally, and estaba bailando is the same thing for you formally didn't dance, or he, she, or didn't dance either, right? Estábamos bailando. I mean, we didn't dance, but we didn't fully dance, right? Because this is the imperfect. Estabais bailando. You informally in the plural didn't dance. Estaban bailando. Those guys didn't fully dance. Those gals didn't fully dance. Or you guys all did not dance, right? Let's go over some useful phrases now. So in the imperfect progressive, you can say yo estaba cantando You were singing, but you didn't fully sing. How about en la or I don't know how you say karaoke. So let's just go in el concierto. Let's try that one. I don't really know how to say karaoke in Spanish, but I assume it's just karaoke. Because you know what? Some Spanish words can't accurately be translated. That's why Spanish makes it so easy for you. Okay. I was singing at the concert, right? You didn't fully sing at the concert, right? See that? You got to be really careful when the imperfect is involved. Let's do a couple more. Let's say that Maria estaba abriendo el supermercado. What do you think that means? Maria was open in the supermarket, but just not fully, right? I mean, it depends on what the situation you use is in for the imperfect, but the imperfect is not full past tense. Let's do one more that's plural. Let's make it a little more interesting this time. John y Marco estaban haciendo el pastel de chocolate. What do you think that means? John and Marco were making chocolate cake, but not fully, right? But in all reality, this should mean John and Marco were making a chocolate cake, including the L in there. But the is really not necessary because sometimes Spanish can be inaccurate that way, right? Now, I would like to go over a few conjugations because I'd like to actually at least go over the present perfect. I'd like to go over the perfect present tense, and that will require conjugations for the verb haber, right? So I'm going to draw a little chart. So I want to go over the present tense conjugations for the verb haber, just really quick. So for the verb haber, you've got yo a, tu has, and you've got él, ella, usted, a, o I, right? Nosotros, nosotras, amos. Vosotros y vosotras hais. Ellos, ellas y ustedes han. Right? Now, I want you to pay attention to this conjugation, right? I want you guys to pay attention to the difference between these two conjugations in the él, ella, y usted form. We use a in very rare cases, but if you're asking somebody, if you're like, for example, if you're asking a question, you'd use the conjugation I, right? Because you would say hay algunas preguntas, right? So for the conjugations for the verb haber, but notice an irregularity in the yo form right here. This is one of those verbs that have an irregularity in the yo form. I mean, it's just like the verb saber where it's yo sé, right? And in haber, it's yo e, right? It's one of those rare verbs that have a big, huge irregularity in the yo form like that. So the conjugations for the verb haber is yo e, tu has, ellos, ellas y ustedes, a, ellos, ellas y dang it. I'm missaying it. So for the verb haber, your conjugations are yo e, tu has, él, ella y usted a, or él, ella y usted hay. Nosotros y nosotras amos. Vosotros y vosotras hais. Y ellos, ellas y ustedes han. Right? Now, this will require the past participles. I will show you some past participles here. So there are some past participles that are irregular. First, we're going to start easy. Can you guess the past participle of beber? Bebido. See that? What about comer? Comido. Right? What about tomar? Tomado. See that? What about let's try the verb saber just for the heck of it. Sabido, right? Conocer. Can you take a shot at conocer? Conocido, right? Okay, here's a tricky one. Hacer. Hacer is hecho. That's one of those irregular ones right there. But descubrir. I'll give you guys a minute to think. Descubierto. See that? That one's also irregular. Ooh, another tricky one. Abrir. What about abrir? Abierto. Romper. That's another tricky one. Roto. See that? One more. One I know. How about cantar? Cantado, that one's easy enough, right? I just wanted to really challenge you guys, giving you the ones I said and stuff like that. So, let's try this. We're going to try the present perfect. This will require conjugations for the verb haber. So what we're going to need is these conjugations. Yo he, tú has, él, ella, y usted, a or I, right? Nosotros hamos, vosotros hayáis, ellos, ellas, y ustedes han, right? And then to form the perfect present tense, the present perfect, you will need the past participles, right? So for past participles, we have bebido, comido, tomado, bailado, cantado, pedido, seguido. To give you guys some of these tricky ones. Hecho, right? Descubierto, roto, right? And I think that's good enough. This is also known as the present perfect, right? See that? So we'll show you one thing. Hecho, has hecho, ha hecho. But what if you're saying something? It can be acceptable to say hi. It can be acceptable to say I hecho, right? Hemos hecho, has hecho, han hecho, meaning that I did, you did formally, he or she did, we did, you did informally, plural. Those guys did, those girls did, and you all did. Right? But hecho can also be used for made as well. Right? Let's go over a few useful phrases. So, yo he hecho, I made. Yo he hecho un pastel. I made a cake, right? That easy. How about Él ha tenido un coche. I had a car. Right? I mean, that's a possible meaning, but that's a possible meaning of that, as you can see there. That's why the Spanish language can make it so easy for you to understand the present perfect. What about Juan y Carlos han hablado de la gente? What do you think that means? Juan and Carlos had spoken to people. Correct my DOL right there. Juan and Carlos had spoken to people. Right? The Spanish language makes it so easy with the present tense perfect. Right? There's also a subjunctive perfect as well. Well, all in the tenses, but that little clock on the wall says that time is up for the day. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this special 300 subscriber video. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Buena suerte. Make good choices. Don't get arrested. Go big, go small, do whatever. You got to go big. Josh AK Killer signing off. Peace. Buena suerte a la gente.